Hi everyone. First, I just want to say thank you for choosing civil engineering as one of your learning topics for today. I'm Hannah. I'm a junior in civil engineering, and my emphases are transportation and structures.
Hi everyone, my name's Nicole Martindale. I'm also a junior, and I'm studying civil engineering with an emphasis in environmental and a minor in sustainability.
So first, we're going to get started on what civil engineering is. But before we do that, I want you to take a look at these questions and pause the video and write down answers to these questions and just think about what you use in everyday life and where you get that from. So some of your answers are probably going to include roads, buildings, water, stoplights. All of those have some relation to civil engineering, which is why it's so important. Civil engineering builds a base to modern society, which is very helpful for us in our everyday lives to be able to complete simple tasks just like showering, brushing your teeth, going to the store, going to the school. And as a major, civil engineering is constantly getting new information and spreading new knowledge to help the world get better. All right, so this top left structure up here is the tallest structure in the world. If you want to, you can do some research about it in between this and another video. But it's actually called the Burj Khalifa. It's in Dubai. And this top right picture is the Brooklyn Bridge, which is in New York. And this bottom left picture is just a really cool picture, I thought, because it shows all the trusses and all the members that go in a bridge. So the main part of structures is a lot of joists, beams, trusses, and columns. So these are what are going to keep the building or the bridge standing. And it's a lot of analyzing forces and how a building or bridge is going to react to, say, a car driving on it or people walking on the floor. So it's a lot of math and a lot of hands-on work, which is really cool.
Okay, next we're going to talk about transportation. As Hannah mentioned earlier, roads and bridges are all very important, and civil engineers are in charge of designing these. So transportation engineering specifically focuses on this side of civil engineering. As shown in these pictures, on the upper left, engineers are in charge of making sure traffic jams like those don't occur and ensuring that traffic signals are coordinating correctly so people can pass through intersections safely. And then these winding, twisting roads, those are also designed by civil engineers. Going into it a little more in depth, as I was mentioning before, those winding, twisting roads are a component of road design and construction. And besides determining where these roads go, you also have to determine what kind of concrete are being used and making sure it's stable enough for cars to drive over. And next, collect and analyze data. As I mentioned before, the different traffic signals that are making sure cars are going through the intersections correctly all starts with collecting and analyzing data in that intersection. Just counting how many cars go through and how much time interval between the different lights are just some of these calculations. And lastly, ensuring safety of the public. All of these go hand in hand with ensuring the safety of the public because the number one canon of all civil engineers is ensuring the safety of the public. And collecting and analyzing data and ensuring the roads are safe is number one for making sure that people are safely driving on the roads. And in fact, there are a lot of innovations going into future developments for automated cars that drive on their own. And this can even increase the safety of the public.
All right, so now we're going to get into geotechnical emphasis. So on the left is a picture of the Grand Teton Dam failure in Idaho. This was kind of one of the major failures in civil engineering. And then on the right is just a building that fell after an earthquake. So geotechnical engineering is considered one of the most important aspects of civil engineering, but it's also underrated. So the main job of a geotechnical engineer is to focus on soil strength. So going back to the Grand Teton Dam, dams hold a lot of water, and the water will seep the water in the Grand Teton Dam seeped through the soil, which caused the soil to weaken and therefore caused the dam to break and injuring a lot of people, which was a bad thing that happened. And it's also a lot of analyzing soil types. So geotechnical engineers will go to a site, get the soil, take it back to the lab, and see what it can do under certain conditions. So it's very important for civil engineers, mainly structures and also transportation engineers, to coordinate with these geotechnical engineers to make sure that the buildings and the roads that they're building are going to stay up on the certain types of soil that are there.
Next, I'm going to talk about environmental and water resources, which is my all-time favorite topic because I am specifically emphasizing in environmental civil engineering. Just as a little introduction, I'm going to go through the pictures on this slide. On the top left, we have a clarifier, and this is found in drinking water treatment plants. And its primary function is to circulate the water and allow solids to settle to the bottom. And then on the bottom left, we have a city, obviously, that does not have clean air, and this is not a good thing. So engineers are in charge of preventing this from occurring. And then on the bottom right, we have 2 field surveyors collecting water. And I actually had a chance to do this in 2 research projects that I helped with. Over the summer, I was a research assistant, and I helped analyze water for the EPA. And then I also did an environmental research initiative class as a freshman. And I collected water samples of College Creek that runs through Iowa State and analyzed the chlorine levels in that water. So we can focus on preventing more of the chlorinated road applications that we use in the winter from getting into our water supply. Next, I'm going to get more in depth with environmental and water resources. First, pollution control. This includes soil pollution control, water, and air. And as I showed in the previous slide, we don't want the air in a city being completely covered in smog because that is not healthy for humans to breathe in. So engineers are in charge of preventing this from occurring. And next we have water treatment and wastewater. These kind of go hand in hand. I even had an internship last summer here in Ames that focused on analyzing these systems and improving them for the future. So what I was given the task to was analyzing the water that was sampled from these treatment plants and noticing different ways to prevent harmful nutrients in the water from getting back into the environment, and more importantly, making sure it's clean enough for humans to drink. And lastly, hazardous waste management. Now this is very important, not only in the top 3 topics, but also more specifically with like even more hazardous chemicals such as oil and different hazardous waste that can give off like radiation and be harmful to humans. So engineers must figure out ways to contain this from getting out into the environment.
All right, so we're gonna get to today's activity, which is gonna be pretty fun. So you're gonna be building spaghetti towers. So the goal of this activity is to build the tallest tower out of just using the necessary materials. So you're gonna have 10 mini marshmallows and 20 sticks of dried spaghetti noodles. But before you get building, I want you to pause the video and take 5 minutes to come up with a game plan. So in your game plan, I want you to come up with a design, and I also want you to think about what kind of shapes or ways you can make your structure stable, but yet complete the goal of being tall. There's only 2 rules that you're gonna have to follow for this project, and it's gonna be, you can only use the spaghetti noodles and the mini marshmallows. You can't have anything else. And then your tower must stand by itself for at least 10 seconds after build time is over. So I hope you had fun with your little spaghetti tower activity, and I hope you learned a lot. So again, I want you to pause the video and think about these questions in depth. What you just did is what engineers do on a daily basis, problem solving. Problem solving is a great trait to have when becoming an engineer or going into any field, really. So I hope you had fun today, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye.